Hello, my friends. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back and welcome to my background for the next couple of weeks. I don't know what took us so long. Why did we not think this through enough to think that when my sister-in-law is not here, we are rarely here at the same time anymore, unless it's Christmas time, right? Why did we not think to put a table or something that resembles a desk in our bedroom for me to use as an office instead of right outside the door where I am on the other side of the wall that my husband is on, who's on calls all day? Why it took us what year is it? 2024? So I guess it's been 3 years of staying down here for several months at a time or whatever. What took us so long to come up with this solution? I don't know. But this is my office for the duration of our trip to Florida. And I'm so excited because the lighting works, everything works. And I'm very, very excited that I just get to keep everything in one place. I don't have to go up to the room of requirement anymore, at least not right now, not this trip. So here we are. I have somehow made it to Florida. It was a little touch and go there, if we're being honest, but we're here and we've made it. Hello, my friends. I am so glad you're here. Let's see who's here with us today. We have Donna and Julie and Lissa. Hello, and Kathy and Lori, Michelle, good evening, and Linda. I am so glad you lovely ladies are here to join me because today we are talking about, and spoiler alert, you've kind of seen this information, but we're going to elaborate if you follow me on Instagram. We're talking about things that we are bringing with us into the new year. Yes, I know it is the 17th, but we can talk about the new year all through January if we want to. It's only 1/12 of the year. And Kim is here. Hello, Kim, with the I'm taking it. That's how it is. That's how it feels for most of the United States right now, right? Cold and snowy. Very appropriate emojis. I love it. But we are talking about what we are taking with us into the new year. And we are also talking about what we are leaving behind. What is old news? What is no longer serving us? Things that we're done. We're done with it. And let me tell y'all, it's a pretty extensive list. And I want to hear what's on your list as well. But first, it is time for highs and lows. This is when we get to share with the community our highlights from the past week. No celebration is too small. So if you want to share your high, I would love to hear it. And if you want to share the low point of your week, you are under no obligation to do so. But we would love to be able to love on and support you through your lows as well. If you want to share some wellness wins, specific wins that pertain to your wellness journey, whatever it is that your wellness journey is on, I would love to hear about them. And if you have a working on it, something typically pertaining to your wellness journey, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, you can share your working on it with us as well. I am going to go ahead and get started with my wellness win, which is I did the stationary bike at my grandparents' house not once, but twice while I was there. So I worked out a grand total of 3 times, which is 3 times more than I usually work out when I am at my grandparents' house. And so I'm very proud of that. And then today I actually got up, had some coffee, did some reading, and immediately got into workout mode for the day. And I felt amazing about it. I did a Pilates workout. I did the treadmill upstairs because my mother-in-law was awake. So I was like, oh, is the treadmill available? Yeah, come on up. So I used the treadmill that was in their bedroom, worked out, and feeling great about it. I've been working the rest of the day, but I feel just very good about the workout habits and not or I guess it's my wellness win, right? My high is that we made it to Florida. We made it. We made it. We were here. We spent a little bit of time. It was a quick visit to Tennessee to see my nephews, but we loved it. It was a lovely time. My low is, I guess, just all of the weather, all the weather. Um, and I'll tell you a little experience that I had with the weather in a little bit, but all the weather, just weather across the United States. It was brutal. And the result of the storm, I keep wanting to call it Hurricane Jerry. Jerry was not a hurricane. Jerry was a winter storm that prevented us from leaving for Tennessee when we intended to. So it resulted in us having to drive for 13 hours on the second leg of our trip if we didn't want to stay another night at a hotel. So it was a long day, but we made it to Florida and we're glad that we're done with that for a little bit. So my wellness win was the working out, and my working on it is just I mean, it's the same as always, just meeting my marks and doing my things and eating the healthy things. And I went grocery shopping yesterday and provided fresh food for the entire family, because when I am here, I turn into Chef Brianna because my in-laws don't cook. My mother-in-law doesn't cook, and which is all well and good. It is her lifestyle choice now. And she also will not eat food that is not already prepared. So it has been a magical thing watching both my husband, who produce taking is very typical of him, but like I went and I got celery and carrots and cucumbers and strawberries and blueberries. And when I got home from the grocery store, I prepped them all. And I cooked a big vat of Emily Bites creamy chicken soup last night. And so we have just food in the refrigerator, which is always a novel thing for my in-laws. They never have food in their fridge, ever. And so when my father-in-law came home, he was like, "Oh, what is this? What is happening in the refrigerator?" And everybody can eat, and everybody can eat in a nourishing way. My husband took strawberries today, came out for a quick break, and I get a text message that said, "Thank you for cutting up produce." And then my mother-in-law put strawberries on her ice cream last night. And she's like, "Oh, look, I eat healthy when the food is just there." I swear they need to hire a personal chef or something, because it would make their lives a lot easier. But so I provided all of the healthy and nourishing food that is in the house. And so this morning I'm making sure that, finally shaking off the travel, shaking off the official post-holiday everything, feeling better after starting an iron supplement. I guess that's also a high. I started taking my hair. Y'all, this hair cannot handle the humidity that is in the air here. It's just a hot mess and I can't handle it. Oh my gosh. But what was I saying? Train of thought gone. Oh, so like this morning, I had an egg fold over for the first time. High fiber wrap, eggs, egg whites, feta cheese, Canadian bacon, and I put an avocado cup on top of it to get some extra fat in there. And I'm just like, I am nourishing my body like a queen today. I had cottage cheese and Quest protein chips for lunch because I wasn't very hungry, and I bought them ages ago and just left them here. Had nourishing soup for dinner. I'm feeling really good. Feeling really good. And so what I'm working on is just making that a daily habit of just showing up for myself in the way I need to show up for myself and loving every second of it. I tell you what. Let's see. It's 19 here. Oh my goodness. It's 59 here. And that's cold for South Florida. First high, I finally got a negative COVID test today. Praise. That's amazing. Lauren, hello. It's good to see you. Grace's high is I've been eating more protein and healthy fats in my meals and snacks, and I've noticed I'm not getting late night sugar cravings. Yes, we tend to crave, especially at night, when we are underfed during the day, and when we are or when we are making less balanced choices. So making sure that protein and a fat of some kind, and if you want to level it up even further, also fiber. 3 very, very critical components to balanced, nourishing food. And you will find, as Grace is finding, that it will help control things a little bit later. Linda says, I've been hitting my goal of getting in some strength training 3 times a week. That's amazing. Strength training will change your life. And I am not even exaggerating. I love that for you. I was ill, but only for 2 days and it went away. Thought I had COVID. Thankfully, it wasn't, but my landlady has COVID. I'm really glad you didn't have COVID. That's great. And then, hi, I started my new job on Monday. Amazing, amazing. And now we're talking about her new job. Hi, I have my cookies today instead of Thursday. I weighed myself on Monday, so I can wait until whenever. Oh, interesting. What's really interesting, Donna, and I'm proud of you for this, is I didn't know you weighed yourself. You didn't make any big public declaration, good or bad or otherwise, unless I missed it. I was unaware that you weighed yourself this week, which I think is great. I think it's great because it's not necessarily necessary that we always know and be, have, are you in a good mood because of it, bad mood because of it, any of those things. And you just like weighed yourself and moved on. I think that's great. My low is I've been unmotivated to exercise for the past week. All I want to do is snuggle under a blanket. Can you switch the narrative around a little bit? If you're not motivated to exercise, can you take a quick action to just move? Just move. It doesn't have to be exercise, but can you just move your body? Whatever that means to you. Low, everything is exhausting. Boy, do I understand that. I'm winded going up the stairs and I'm still dealing with some postnasal drip stuff. That'll hang around for a while, Alyssa. That'll all hang around for a while. I had some peanut butter before and decided to stop before the jar was empty. That's also a big win for you. I love it. Working on it. I'm trying to figure out the logistics with meal timing and work break foods. It's proving to be more of a challenge than I was anticipating. And give yourself the grace and the freedom and the flexibility to experiment. You're not going to have it figured out right away. It might take you a little while to adjust to the whole work thing, the whole work schedules, the variability of work schedules, and figuring out exactly how your job ebbs and flows and what ends up working for you. And that's okay. It's okay for things to take time. I haven't been to the gym since Sunday. I didn't have time today. Got my new phone and that took up time. I'm going to exercise tomorrow because I have time. Hi, Priscilla. It's good to see you. My low is that I haven't left the house since Sunday, mostly due to weather, except to shovel snow and clean off my car. Dealing with a case of cabin fever. I feel ya. I feel ya. I didn't leave my grandparents' house for like almost a week, it felt like. Not quite a week, like 4 days or something. And it gets to be a lot. It really does. I was okay with the number, and that's good. That's good. I'm so happy you're live. I need a comforting thing to watch. I thank you for thinking that I am a comforting thing. I love that. I really do. So I appreciate you, Priscilla. I'm a personal shopper at a grocery store, so I went from COVID to a job where I'm on my feet and moving, lifting, walking, twisting. Not the best post-COVID job, for sure. I started tracking again, but I'm learning to pay attention to my body. Lori, that's great. That's great. Marisol, hello. I know. I like to see your screen name pop up. I'm so glad you're able to join live this evening. Lo is still having a lot of sciatica pain. That'll get you. That'll get you. My high is that I haven't been eating every snack in the house, and I worked out at home today. That's huge because especially when cabin fever hits, you're kind of like, I don't know what to do with myself, and then you make questionable choices because you're bored and triggered and all of these things. And I think it is great that you're like, you know what, I'm gonna work out today. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy, right? But you did something, and that's a huge accomplishment. And being able to not engage in overly emotional eating is also a very big win. So good for you. My biggest challenge is I won't know at the last minute if my breaks are going to be 2 hours apart or 4 to 5 hours apart. So figuring out what to eat on my 15 is a challenge. Yeah, you got to find some snacks that are nice and balanced, like a heat bar. Heat bars are a great choice. Oh, I got to order some of those. I forgot. But I did come up with a solution, plan for my 15-minute break meal to last me 2 to 3 hours and keep a pocket snack on hand. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Does not sitting much and, oh, no, I'm going to assume that you're still typing, but and I know what you're going to say. Anything counts. Anything counts. Get up. Today I had a coaching call with somebody and we were talking about having options for our goals and how she had specific goals that she wanted to meet or specific daily habits and things that she wanted to do. And I was like, okay, these are all wonderful, but we need to bust through perfectionism mindset. A majority of today's call was battling and combating perfectionism and setting ourselves up for success. And one of the things that we did was come up with options for each daily goal that this person desired to have. So, for example, if this person wanted to move every single day, which we didn't. We decided that we were going to employ the 3 times a week as a habit. But if daily movement is important, we needed to make a list of what counted as daily movement. And it could be anything from going to the swimming pool to taking a yoga class to going for a walk to a 5-minute dance break in the middle of your bathroom or your kitchen or wherever it is you do your sorry, I'm totally distracted because I just got a FaceTime call from my mom and I know it's to sing happy birthday to my sister and I am not available to do so. So hang on, I'm going to text them because otherwise they're going to sit there and they're going to wait for me. I am live streaming. Sorry. I'm done at 8. Sorry. My mom is very good. We're very good about like FaceTiming one another in to sing happy birthday when one has cake in front of them. And today is my sister's birthday. So, what was I saying? So having different options is good, right? So if you're like, I just don't feel like working out today. I don't feel like exercise is something I am inspired to do today. Okay, but what counts as movement? Literally anything. You can get up and walk in place during commercials if you're somebody that still experiences commercials. You can have a dance break in the middle of your kitchen, put on your favorite song and have a dance break in the middle of your kitchen. All of these things are viable, acceptable, and can check that box of, okay, I moved my body today. Carmen, it is so good to see your name on here. Oh my goodness gracious. Does not sitting much at work and walking back and forth to the copier? Yeah. Get up. And here's want to know something else that counts? Get up and take a lap just for funsies. No joke. If you get up, I know people that used to employ I would go to the water fountain on the 2nd floor. So I would get up whenever I needed to fill my water bottle, go up a flight of stairs, fill up the water bottle and come back. And it was like a little 90-second, 2-minute walk break every time that they emptied a water bottle. That is movement. Absolutely. 100%. I changed my weigh-in day to the day after my days off so I can't keep mindlessly chowing down when off. Don't want to plan a meal that leaves me full come lunchtime, but I also don't want to be too hungry. Going to do mini meals on my 15. Grace, yes, that counts. That counts. Everyone's saying hi to Carmen. I love it. I love it. That's right. Please tell your sister happy birthday. I did 6,000 steps today just going to stores and parking lots. Absolutely. That counts. Yesterday, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted my to-do list yesterday. And on it included all the things I had to do. Laundry, grocery shopping, reading, cooking dinner, all of those things. And then I had Pilates workout in there. And I ended up doing so much, getting the groceries, bringing them inside and prepping them and then cooking dinner that I was on my feet most of the day yesterday. I decided to give myself a little bit of grace and opted to not have to do my Pilates workout. I already had like 8,000 something steps and my mother looked at me and she's like, have you sat down at all today? I was like, no, not really. And so my husband came out and is like, did you work out today? And my mother-in-law immediately was like, she's been on her feet all day. And that counts. That absolutely 100% counts. And so it's really important when we're going out and we're trying to get our goals, and especially in our daily habits, that you have options for what counts towards your daily habit. Because if every day you think I'm going to read for half an hour every day, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. But if you say, I want to read in some way, you want to consume a book in some way every day, you can have different options for what that means. It can be 10 pages, it can be 10 minutes, it can be 1 page, it can be an audiobook. And based on how you're feeling, what you want to do that day, you have a list of options that will check that box for you. Same with working out. Same with a house cleaning habit. Same with insert the habit here. You have options for what counts, and you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one overly rigid and unreasonable expectation. So if you're not somebody who has dabbled in having multiple options for your goal or habit, give it a try and see how it goes. See how much more consistently you can show up for yourself if that is what you do. If you're just like, I don't want to Oh gosh, what is a good example? I'm totally blanking on examples right now. Working out is really the best example I have today. Y'all, my brain is fried. My brain is fried today. Um, but working out. So if like I really don't want to do my Pilates workout, I really don't feel like I can lift weights today. Can I get up and go walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes or walk around the block or do some squats or something? Just do like a little 5-minute like circuit. Anything that counts as movement. Can I just stretch today? Yeah. And guess what? You counted intentional movement for the day. Have a little bit of grace and flexibility, and you will achieve a whole lot more. I promise you that. Since 7.25 hours walking yesterday after subtracting breaks. No idea how many steps I got, but workout was not on the agenda. I had to take painkiller. Oh yeah, I remember that retail life. I remember that retail life, my friends. Okay, so here is what I want to talk about. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Again, for people who have just come in, we are talking about the things that we are taking with us into the new year and the things that we are leaving behind. It stays in 2023. We're not going to even entertain them as options anymore. Some of these y'all aren't going to disagree with, or y'all are going to disagree with. Some of these you won't agree with, but that's okay because this is my personal list. This is what I personally am taking and leaving in 2024. So the first thing, we're going to start with leaving behind. These are the things that I no longer am holding space for in my life. These are now boundaries that I am setting. These are now things that are just gone. And the first one is, of course, dieting. I mean, we all knew this one was coming, but I wanted to make it a public declaration that in like 2024, because in 2023, dieting still happened. Tracking still happened. It wasn't until halfway through the year that I made that switch. This year, this is the first year in my adult life that I'm going to be exclusively an intuitive eater. We're going to see where that year takes me. And I'm very, very excited. Now, as a friendly reminder, what does intuitive eating not mean? It doesn't mean that I don't eat nourishing and healthy foods. It doesn't mean that I am not aware of what I'm putting into my body. It doesn't mean that I don't have body goals. It doesn't mean that I want to stick to a regular workout routine and become stronger, faster, better, more energized, and maybe as a result of all of these things, a little bit leaner. Maybe. But what it does mean is that there is no tracking. There is no weighing unless I need to weigh something for other purposes. There's no measuring. There's no concerning myself with what the calories are or anything of that nature. Y'all, I ate perfect bars twice in the last week. No, actually 3 times in the last week. Perfect bars. Bars that I had previously written off because they were too many calories. And they have 12 grams of protein and they have like hefty amounts of fat and they're natural and they have superfoods and like they're really good, quite frankly. And I'm like, you know what? I can have these now because the calories themselves don't matter. It just matters that I'm listening to my body and I'm using them to feed my body when I'm hungry for something nourishing. And so dieting is off the table. We are done. We are done with dieting. Sorry, I have an itch in my ear. That is the most annoying things. I tell you what. And Priscilla's getting us started. As I'm talking about the things I'm leaving behind, I would love to hear what you are leaving behind as well. I'm no longer saying yes to things I don't want to do. Priscilla, that is so empowering. That's amazing. Good for you. Like that's a boundary that you set and you can just that's you taking your power back. That's amazing. I love that for you. I love that for you. I'm leaving some aspects of diet culture behind. I'm not ready to let go of. It depends on your definition of diet culture. You can leave diet culture behind. Everybody should leave diet culture behind, in my opinion. We all should. I just want to be heart healthy and keep my bones strong. Strength training, really, really good for your bones. Really, really good for your bones. Yes, 100%. Bought a couple of perfect bars and was planning on having one with my impromptu lunch and ended up not eating it because I wasn't hungry. Comparing myself to others, that is such a good one that I don't think I actually wrote down. No, I only wrote down a handful of my list. But yes, that's one of mine too. No more comparison, y'all. It doesn't matter what the other people are doing. We don't have to keep up with the Joneses. We don't have to do that. We can do our own thing. And that's wicked empowering. Another thing that I'm leaving behind in 2024 is sugar-free and fat-free anything, with the exception of if I like it, I get to eat it. But I'm talking about like sugar-free and fat-free for the sake of it being sugar-free and fat-free. Oh, let me have the fat-free thing because it's less calories, or because it's fat-free, because somehow we've demonized fat. Fat is good. We need fat. Sugar-free. Y'all, I do so much better when I don't pick the sugar-free option. My body thrives on regular good old sugar, not erythritol, not the artificial stuff, not the sugar, especially not the sugar alcohols, and sometimes not even the natural stuff. Monk fruit is supposedly like this natural thing. My body doesn't do monk fruit either. I like the things with sugar in it, and I am going to unapologetically be embracing the things with sugar in it this year. And bouncing right off of that, low carb is not an option. I'm leaving that so far behind. I mean, I guess one could argue I kind of left it in like 2020. Like no. We are not playing the low carb game anymore. Does that mean that I am not playing the, hey, fibrous carbs are good? So by default, could I be consuming lower net carbs? Yes. Technically, the wrap that I used to make my egg fold over this morning was like one of those keto, only 4 net carbs. I ate it because it has fiber in it, and fiber is critical to our gut health, to our ability to lose weight, to our ability to feel satiated, and to balance our blood sugars. Fiber is so important. Net carbs don't matter. What matters is how you are fueling your body, and fiber is an essential way to do that. So just because I'm doing low carb doesn't mean you're not going to see specifically like sometimes some like keto or low carb labeled things. I will always eat the carb balanced tortillas or the Olay high fiber wraps because there's fiber, and fiber is so good. So fiber is so good. Love your emojis, Kim. I love your emojis. By late fall, I will be leaving behind full-time work. That's really exciting, Lori. That's absolutely amazing. I will let go of the clutter in my house. I love it. Today, I was waiting for them to program my phone. Next door was a Starbucks. There were all sorts of yummy looking stuff, but I wasn't hungry, and I walked out empty handed. And that's on intuitively eating, my friends. And it would also have been okay if you decided you wanted a little something, because you're allowed to have a little something. It's the abundance mindset, focusing on where you can add more, not less. Plus, stuff was expensive. So that's what I'm leaving behind. Now we're getting into some more of the less tangible type things. Engaging with haters. I have a tendency to want to react. It is the 8 wing of the Enneagram 9 that wants to trigger back when and fight when a hateful comment comes through. And so I used to lean into that, and I used to try and sass my way back at any negativity, any hater, anything of that nature. And in recent months, I have grown to mature a little bit. The instinct, the urge is still there sometimes, but ultimately I have pulled way back. I have really started to keep my mouth shut. And in 2024, I'm going to continue to grow and mature in that area. And I'm not engaging with haters. I'm not doing it. Block, delete, bye-bye. Every time. If you're going to come on and you're going to be a jerk, you do not deserve an ounce or a second of my fabulous self. So you can just don't let the door hit you on the way out. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Andy, good to see you. Things and people that don't add to my life in a positive way. Marisol, that's another really great answer. You want to surround yourself with positivity and joy and light. And I would argue another thing you should do, everybody should go through and leave behind. Oh, everyone's saying hi to Andy. I love it. We've missed you, Andy. We've missed you. Everybody needs to go through their social media feeds. I'm talking Facebook too. And if somebody doesn't leave you with a fabulous taste in your mouth after you consume their content, unfollow them. Unfollow them. Curate that space. That is your sacred social media space where you should only be consuming things that inspire you, educate you, or light you up. You should never walk away feeling less than. You should never walk away feeling bad about yourself. So it's on you to curate that feed to make sure that it's giving you everything you need it to. I'm leaving behind negative talk about my body. This is a really, really good one. And is this one that I wrote down? No, I didn't write that one down either, but that's definitely on my list for sure. One of the things I'm working on leaving behind is the impulse to speak in places where I know I'm going to stir up drama, cultivating more intentionality. I love that, and I approve of that message for sure. And it's hard. The gut instinct, like me with the haters, the gut instinct is to strike back. And it takes a new level of maturity and personal growth to be able to be like, I have a comment, but I'm not gonna say it for the sake of the community, the group I'm in, the drama, like eliminating drama and gossip from your life. Y'all need to leave that behind in 2024 as well. Leave it all behind. No drama, no gossip. We don't need it. We are just here to lift each other up, to help and love on and support one another. Do not do the drama. Do not do the gossip. Do none of it. None of it. Oh my goodness. Andy is just greeting everybody individually, and I am here for it. I love it. This is another thing I'm leaving behind in 2024, being concerned with the number of likes or follows that I have. And it's just because, when you're running a business online, when you're a social media influencer, for the lack of a better term, although I actually apparently really played influencer this past week, and in my email newsletter I got multiple messages of like, you talked about this thing and I immediately bought it, and I was like, oh look, I'm an influencer today. Fantastic. But it's really hard to disengage from and not talk about tying your value and your worth to numbers. My problem is not the number on the scale, but my problem is the number of followers, likes, comments, shares, all those metrics that all the social media platforms let you see in your analytics. And I need to not let that be the important part. The important part is engaging in the community. The important part is spending time with you guys and cultivating and growing that and making sure our relationship is solid and making an impact on people, regardless of the number of followers. I have to sit there and think, and I'm sitting here thinking right now, according to my thing, there's 16 people watching right now, which in the grand scheme of live streams can feel very small and can sometimes be discouraging. But what I like to do when I'm always feeling discouraged is I go, what if that number of people were in a coffee shop listening to me speak or sing? Can you imagine if 16 people came to gather around because y'all wanted to hear me talk for an hour? That's exactly what's happening right now, and that's really powerful. And so I keep reminding myself of that because I need to stop being concerned with the numbers. Stop being concerned with the numbers. Gracie is out with her grandpa because she loves her favorite human. I'm convinced she might love her grandpa more than she loves daddy. Maybe, possibly. She just, as soon as he came home, he put on his pajama pants and his Panthers jersey. All three of them, my mother-in-law, father-in-law, and husband are all out there watching a Panthers hockey game right now. And she hopped right up on his lap and curled up and just plop down. And then he went to take a phone call in the living room. She got up and followed him and just sat there and looked at him the whole time he was on the phone and did not return until he came back into the room. Little Miss Gracie, diva extraordinaire. And part of that is sitting back and trying to figure out when I need to speak and when I don't, because I'm really trying to stir up drama, but I do. Exactly. And it takes discernment. It really does. And that is a skill. So it's good you're working on it. Leaving behind perfectionism, fear of failure. My motto, it's all good. I love it. You are a positive force, Kim. I don't even see your face. It helps that I know what you look like and I can hear your voice because I've communicated with you before. But even in the chat, you come with your emojis and your positivity and it just lights up the chat. And I love it so much. I find the use of long words like optical illusion technician helps me baffle haters. Love it. Another thing I'm leaving behind in 2024 is worrying about the opinions of people on the internet. I'm sorry. I love every single one of you, but I need to get better about not concerning myself with your opinions. And not you guys specifically. Obviously, those of you that are here, those of you that care enough to show up for me week after week after week, quite frankly, I value your opinion more than just the average Joe Schmo that decides to wander on in and be like, why does your hair look like that? Why does your skin look like that? How, with all that free time, why don't you go to the gym? Oh, that's my favorite kind of comment. That's my favorite kind of comment. Did I tell y'all? I told y'all this story about how my child-free Q&A video somehow ended up without my permission on a Yahoo article or something about somebody else, somebody who's not me, talking about some man, of course it was a man, who wrote this article about some woman who wanted to be a stay-at-home wife with no kids. I am, in fact, a stay-at-home wife with no kids. And so for whatever reason, this article talked about this other woman and stay-at-home wife with no kids. And my video is plastered right in the middle of this thing. And this article got into the hands of a bunch of bros who decided to come over to my video and give me their opinion on this. And there were multiple that were like, well, with all that free time you have, why don't you go to the gym? Commenting on my weight. And I'm like, really, bros? And I was not even offended. How dare they? Gracie is your kid. Thank you. Thank you. Dog mom extraordinaire, if I do say so myself. I even cut her bangs yesterday because they were hanging in her eyes. And I was like, we need to find you a groomer around here. But for now, mama's going to just cut your hair and give you a sham haircut just so you can see. And voila, she could see again. Good mommy award for the day. I tell you what. But oh my goodness. And I wasn't even like offended by the comments. I was just baffled. I'm like, where are these freaking people coming from? And it took me 2 days to figure it out. I had to go like deep into my analytics. I had to do oh my word. And thankfully at the time, because they were so far not within my realm of demographic or anything that their opinion to me did not matter. So I came out of that. My husband's like, well, it's really not a big deal because it's not true and you're getting a whole bunch of views. So that's good for you. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter, but it was, it was just a whole 48-hour thing. But it reminded me that the opinion of people on the internet doesn't matter. And I need to remember that it doesn't matter. And then the last thing that I am leaving behind in 2024 is my enemy, my arch nemesis right here, my arch nemesis, procrastination. I used to be, I'm not going to say I am a master procrastinator because I do not want to identify that way anymore. If you identify yourself as something, if you speak that belief into being, guess what? It will be true. And we don't want to do that to ourselves anymore. So I am no longer going to proclaim that I'm a master procrastinator because I procrastinate no more. We are leaving it behind in 2024. Yes, in 2024. We're leaving all of those things in last year. And we are moving on. So now, let me tell you about the things that are coming with me or that I've had to go hunt down and grab to take with me, right? So these are the things that I am taking with me into 2024 and beyond. And the first one is nourishing my body. This is not news. I've always been trying to nourish my body, but this is something that is coming with me. Dieting is staying, nourishing my body is coming. And there will be some people that will hear this, see this, whatever, and go, well, isn't that the same thing? If you're nourishing your body, aren't you dieting? No, you're not. If you are nourishing your body, it means you are fueling it appropriately to stay healthy, to stay strong, to be able to do the things that you were called to do in life, to make sure you have adequate vitamins, to make sure your meals are balanced, to fuel yourself for your workouts, and for whatever else you have to do that day. Nourishing your body in a healthy way. And I had to explain this to my mother-in-law because my mother-in-law and I will often talk dieting whenever I come down because I'm here to help her stay on track, right? And she's like, well, yeah, I was going to say, oh, I can do whatever Bree's doing when she comes down, but now you're not dieting anymore. So what do? I'm an intuitive eater too. And I looked at her and I'm like, you are not an intuitive eater. You are an I'm not dieter. You are not an intuitive eater. And I had to explain to her what intuitive eating is. And she goes, oh yeah, I don't do that. And I go, yeah, I know you don't do that. And there's a big discrepancy. People do not understand that intuitively eating can and does mean respecting your body, nourishing your body, moving your body, taking care of your body, and loving and accepting your body all at the same time. That's what intuitively eating is. It's not overeating simply because you can fall back on restriction later. That's not intuitively eating. That's not dieting. And we are not doing that, my friends. We're not doing that. So I am taking with me nourishing my body, and arguably nourishing my body even better than when I was dieting. Because half the time that I was dieting and successfully losing weight, one could argue that I wasn't actually nourishing my body. I wasn't. I was eating as low carb, low fat, low point calorie bite, whatever, as I could be, sometimes with zero regard for the actual nutritional value or ingredients in the food I was eating. If I could get it to fit into the numbers I needed it to fit into, meaning my points, then it was good enough for me. That's not necessarily nourishing my body. So I might be nourishing my body more this year than ever before. The next thing I'm taking with me is showing up. This is a big one. And today I feel like I actually showed up more than I thought I would today. It typically takes me a little while to transition into being productive here when I'm in Florida. It takes me a hot second to get warmed up, no pun intended. And while I still haven't managed to film a video, which is fine, I'm creating content. This is content that's going out on my channel this week. And my goal is to film a video in the not too distant future. I showed up for my calls. I had a couple of extra calls today that I wasn't planning on. I showed up in my workouts, and showing up, my friends, is like, oh, there's a bug in here. Oh, good. If there's one thing that you can do for yourself this year, it is show up in a way that you would be proud of. Show up the way that you think future you that you're striving to be would show up. That person 5 years down the road, show up as her today. We talked about this last week. Now I'm paranoid that the mosquito is going to land on me and bite me. Whenever I am here, I don't know why it happens, but I end up with bites on my legs, and it must be because mosquitoes get in and I don't see them or feel them in real time because of my nerve disorder. But alas, it's fine. We will survive. Show up for yourself in whatever way. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you say, hey, you know what I'm going to do today? I am going to move my body in this way. Do it. Just show up. And let me tell you, when you start to show up for yourself, when you start to keep promises to yourself, your life is going to change. Your confidence is going to skyrocket. You are going to feel empowered. You are going to feel fierce, and you're going to feel freaking fabulous. And that's super important. That is super, super important. Yes, Andy, I'm in Florida. I'm not at home right now. My husband and I are just starting to find foods that are better for anti-inflammation. Yeah, and just nourishment, fruits, vegetables, proteins. Get that olive oil up in there, avocados and olive oil and fiber, all of those things. There's a lot of foods that actually aren't inherently inflammatory unless you have an issue with them. For example, gluten, not necessarily inflammatory unless you have celiac disease. Sorry. Also, dairy, not necessarily a problem unless you're allergic to dairy, right? So just keep that in mind. And eating a balanced, healthy, nourishing diet will take care of things for you. I do too. It messes with the white balance in my videos sometimes, but this angle appears to be okay. So as long as y'all are good with seeing my bed in the background for a couple of weeks, then we're good to go. Another thing I'm taking with me into 2024 is rest. I'm taking rest with me because we all know, I started off the year by having to deal with post-COVID everything, right? And for me, the biggest issue is always fatigue. And so I've leaned into just sleep when your body needs to sleep. And there are days that I wake up at 6:30 with my husband's alarm, and there are days I sleep until 8. And when I don't have a specific schedule, I just lean into it. I let myself rest, and it's fine. At the end of an emotionally draining day, I will allow myself to just sit and be. I will allow myself to recharge. I will make sure that I put the things in place to make sure I have adequate recharge time. I recharge in quiet. I recharge in calm. And unplugging and all of those things. And I want to make sure that I do that. So it's not just about rest being sleep, but it's rest making sure my body has adequate time to heal if I work out and I'm sore and things of that nature as well. Super, super important. Yes, citronella candles do help with flyy bitey things. I keep trying. So my favorite way to eat avocado, I get the little avocado mashed cups because then they don't go bad on you. Pro tip. And then I mix it with everything bagel seasoning. Avocado plain is fine. Avocado with some flavor added to it is much, much better. Also, oregano and stuff in there to make it give it like a Mediterranean vibe. Also very, very good. Also very good. Oh man, it's like the most super of all the superfoods. I didn't love avocado at first either. I didn't. I started making myself eat it because I knew how good it was for me. And then I magically became obsessed with it. Truly, truly. Next thing I am bringing with me into 2024 is body confidence. And this is a hard one. This is a hard one because there are days that I feel fabulous and just body confident all over creation. And then there are days where the negative creeps in, where the body image self-talk creeps in, where the comparison game creeps in, all of it. And it sucks. And if you are somebody who's looking to increase your body confidence, here's the thing I have to tell you. It's not ever going to be a perfect and linear journey. I have more body confidence now than I've had in a really, really long time, but it doesn't mean that I don't have bad days. It doesn't mean that there's a day where I'm bloated for whatever reason and my pants feel a little bit tight that don't make me go, man, oh man. And then you have those thoughts and they're fleeting and it's normal and it's how you respond to those, right? And you remind yourself you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are enough, you are loved, you are desirable, you are all of these things as you are right now. And if you don't believe that, continue to tell yourself that every single day. Every single day. It's a fake it till you make it type situation. But just because I'm striving for body confidence doesn't mean I'll ever have it perfect. Let's get that abundantly clear right now. Okay. Another thing I'm bringing into 2024 is helping women reach their goals because I'm freaking obsessed with helping women reach their goals. Sorry, Andy. But my primary demographic is in fact women. And I'm here to empower and encourage and help women. And I love helping women reach their goals. There's nothing that makes me happier. Like I said, I had a one-on-one call just today, and all we did was set up these goals, set up expectations, and I left this individual. I got a message from her about an hour later that said, I'm already feeling so much better after our call. Thank you so much. And I was like, this is what I'm here for. And I am here to help. And I love it so much. Abundance mindset is something that is coming with me into 2024. And I am here for it. What is the abundance mindset? It is the belief that there is always enough. It is the opposite of scarcity mindset, of lack. It is the belief that the universe, God, will provide. It is the belief that there is enough money, there is enough followers, there are enough comments, there's enough everything. There's enough for you. There's enough for me. And guess what? There's enough for you too. There's no need to hoard. There's no need to try and cheat other people out of things or try to compete with other people because there's enough. Abundance mindset is super, super game changing. And that is definitely something I am leaning into. Definitely something I'm leaning into. Oh, wait. My overall goal for 2024 is to cultivate what matters, which is nice because it flexes. Absolutely. I find a squeeze of lemon or lime juice really helps with avocado. Yeah, get a little bit of acidity in there. Would Trader Joe's dill seasoning go well with avocado? Give it a try. I don't see why not. What you're looking for, if you do the dill seasoning, lemon would also be good because the dill seasoning has that acid in it, which is what makes it so appealing. There's this book and a TV show that talks about, like, I don't know, the ways to prepare food. I don't remember, but it's called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. And it's a good reminder that most of those things is what's going to help make food just taste bam, wonderful. And while I've always known that salt tastes good, while I've always known that fat tastes good, acid is a new one that I'm really embracing. And it really makes a difference. A squeeze of lemon, a teaspoon of vinegar of whatever kind, rice vinegar in my poke bowls or whatever. the acid really just brightens things up in a way that I have never fully appreciated before. So if the dill pickle seasoning doesn't work, but there's something about it you like, try adding citrus. I have a new t-shirt that people don't understand. I'm leaving behind relying on external measures like a fitness tracker to judge my workouts and embracing finding joy in movement. And I think that's so good and so powerful. I love that. Adding a squeeze of lemon juice in that creamy chicken. Oh yeah. And I do it every time. I no longer eat it without a squeeze of lemon in it. And by a squeeze, I mean like, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon of lemon juice, depending on my serving size. I love the lemony tang to it. And it just elevates it so much. It elevates it so much. And it's just this, I always have lemon juice in the house. And it's just such a simple thing. I understand it's merely a flesh wound, but I don't understand that it's merely a flesh wound. We are bringing with us trusting the process. This is a key component in pretty much anything, right? If you show up and you do the habits that you are supposed to do, you do what you know will work. You show up day to day nourishing your body. You show up day to day moving your body and finding the joy in movement and all of these things. You will be shocked that the process actually just kind of happens on its own, right? Trust the process. And I want to embrace this concept with everything. I want to embrace this concept with course creation, with YouTube channel growth and business growth, and whatever my body is going to decide to do with the habits that I embrace and the way that I treat it. Trusting the process, trusting the change, trusting that change will come and things will go in the direction that it needs to in the appropriate timing because you are doing the process. That's really important. And it's very, very hard to do. It's very hard to do. And the last thing I'm doing more, but this is all I wrote down, was the thing I'm taking with me in 2024 is fitness goals focused on getting stronger instead of skinnier. Now, again, does this mean that my body may or may not change? My body might change if I embrace all of these goals to get stronger and do all these things and work on Pilates and strength training and all of this. Does it mean that I will get smaller? Probably. But that's not the goal. The goal is focused on getting stronger. The goal is focused on more energy. The goal is focused on more stamina. And the body changes would just be a result of the habits and actions and not the primary goal. The goal is not to get smaller. The goal is not to shrink myself. I am no longer feeling bad about taking up space. I'm allowed to take up space. People want me to take up their space, you know? Rosie, hi. Admittedly, I'm not finding a ton of joy in movement currently but that's part of cultivating what matters, embracing the season. I need to rest. Yeah, you just had COVID. You're not going to find joy in movement for a while. Eventually you will get to a point where moving will be a necessity, but it's not going to be joyful when you don't have the energy to sustain it, obviously. So that's my list, y'all. That's my list for the last few minutes. Does anybody have any questions or any comments or any things that they would like to talk about? Because that's all I had. That's all I had. And I'm very excited about leaving these things. And it's such a simple concept, right? It's like a whole new form of goal setting, which is just what are you taking and what are you leaving in the new year? And you can do this exercise as often as you need to. You can wake up in the morning and you can go, what am I taking into today? And what am I leaving behind? You're allowed to do that. If you need a refresh every day and be like, today, let me tell y'all, tomorrow I am leaving behind drama. I'm leaving it behind. It is not welcome here. No drama. And I'm taking with me calm and patience and energy and all of those things. And you can get up and every day, what am I taking with me? What am I leaving behind? If doing it annually doesn't work for you. Oh no. And ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to the point in the evening where my jaw is getting tired and therefore I start yawning at an outrageous rate. It's fine. We're all fine. So right now I'm working hard and pushing myself where I can at work and then resting hard when I have a chance. And that's exactly the right way to do it. That's exactly the right way. Do you have a schedule that you follow during the week, like housework and work? Typically, yes. But admittedly, I have been trying to mess around with that schedule and try and figure out what exactly works for me. A couple of things that I was reminded just yesterday. I can't even remember why I was reminded of it. Oh, you know what? It was a targeted ad on Facebook. No, Instagram. But a couple of methodologies that I've tried is the have certain scheduled things every single day. So like 8 to 9 is workout and, blah, 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 blah. And some days that works and some days that doesn't work for me. I have also tried theming my days. That seems to work the best for me. But the problem with that, and it's not an excuse, it's not a good excuse anyway, is that since I've started the healthy meetings, I find that Wednesdays and Thursdays tend to be my most productive work days for content creation. And somehow I've used the healthy meetings as an excuse as to why I can't do all those things those days, most weeks, which is a lousy excuse. It's not a legitimate excuse at all. But it is what it is. And then another thing that I have kind of dabbled in, but haven't embraced and was reminded of just yesterday was chronotype. And we all have a different chronotype. There's 4 different chronotypes, and it's based on your own personal circadian rhythm and stuff like that. And I was reminded last night that I'm a bear, and I was like, oh, right. So what does that mean about when my most optimal work hours are, when my sleep time and wake time should be, all of that. And so I kind of want to dabble in that again too. We'll see. But I have kind of a desired schedule, an ideal schedule, but it's more or less turning into things that I have to do, like more of a task list. And there are some days I wake up and I'm like, I'm going to knock this task list out immediately. And so I'll get up, I'll grab coffee, and I'll be like, I'm upstairs and I'm working. I'm editing, I'm doing whatever it is I need to be doing, blah, 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 blah. And then there are some days where I've planned out my day and be like, I'm going to have a slow morning. I have to be butt in chair by 11 o'clock. And then I work until whatever time. So I do have a schedule, but I haven't fully fleshed out what it is yet. That means spending days off, sleeping in bed and relaxing with Netflix between days of being on my feet for working. Yeah, for sure. I've learned that my desired schedule is based on other people. I'm most productive if I don't have to interact with humans first thing in the morning. Yeah. And that's valuable. And there are people who work, business jobs and whatever who have figured that out too. And they'll actually put up signs and be like, I'm not interacting with people until, after 2 o'clock. These are my focused hours. And that's great if you have the power to be able to do that. I also don't interact well with people in the morning. I don't really want to talk to people in the morning. I don't even want to talk to my husband in the morning, truly. Oh, Kim is actually looking up Andy's chart. Yeah, I know you said fletch wound, Andy. I know you said that. I don't know what it means. That's the problem. I don't know what it means. But I do know what it is spoofing, and it is spoofing Monty Python. So lucky you don't have, I'm absolutely lucky I don't have a 9 to 5. Y'all, I'm always on my own schedule, except for a couple of set hours. Like most of the time I'm down here at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever the heck time it is. I'm in Eastern time now. And I make these commitments that I show up for, right? But most of the stuff, if I have to cancel, if I have to move things around, I have the freedom to do that. And I'm very, very, very lucky that I have that kind of freedom. Very lucky. I don't take that for granted for a second, to be very clear. And I know that. I wake up extra early just so I can get my morning routine done while things are quiet. Yeah, I will too. Because here's a fun thing that may work for some and may not work for others, but speaking your needs to the people around you is very, very helpful. I made a comment while I was down, when we arrived or whatever, we were just talking about things, and I was talking to my mother-in-law about how I was talking to my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law in Tennessee over the weekend, and I was talking about how my husband can't do anything in the quiet. He always has to have a podcast going, always has to have some sort of auditory stimulation happening most of the time. And so then I, on the flip side, talked about how I need quiet to decompress. I thrive with quiet first thing in the morning and quiet, when I need, like, been overwhelmed and I just needed to be quiet. And my mother-in-law, like, was in on this conversation, and she knows that she's oftentimes when she gets up, she's playing music, she's doing all these things. And I don't know if it's on purpose, but she has been quieter in general while I've been here. And if we're in the same room, like, she's been working on her computer and she hasn't had music going or whatever, because she heard me say, I thrive in quiet. And so sometimes she's giving me the space I need to be in the quiet, which is amazing of her. And I know not everybody is as lucky to have the people that are they're sharing a house with take your needs into consideration like that. But if you don't speak your needs, they'll never know. They'll never know. Da, 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 da. Thank you for coming, Priscilla. I was so glad you were here. While doing my training, I'm on a 7-11 or 7 to 3 schedule. I wake up when it's still dark and quiet, and I have time at the end of my day. I love that. Well, there we go. It is archery. There we go. I have times where I need both. I've learned my best approach is to figure out what I can change. Better for me to put in earplugs than talk to my housemates about being quiet. Yep. That's me. I'm always listen, but low volume. Yeah, and I'm not. I used to be. I used to always have stuff playing in the background, TV, a YouTube video, music, whatever. And I've just somehow some switch flipped, and I'm not like that anymore. I like quiet. I really, really do. So yeah, that's a wrap, y'all. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I truly treasure all of these conversations that we have. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating. Thank you for loving on and supporting one another in the chat. I really appreciate that I have a community that does that. I will be here the exact same time next week, still from this bright blue beachy bedroom in Florida. Thank you for hanging out with me for an hour, listening to me talk. If you have any suggestions, because I actually decided to like have a theme today and like put forth effort in coming up with like a list and a conversation with y'all, leave them in the comments. Give me some suggestions or in like DM me or whatever. Like, what should I talk about next week? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys for being here. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.